Hello and welcome back to Alex FPL. Today we're looking at FPL's best forwards ranked from avoid all the way up to elite. We'll be looking at last season stats, projected points, preseason form, and all the latest injury news. If you do find this useful, please consider liking and subscribing. So starting with the avoid tier, Isak. So he's not training with the team. He's obviously been rumoured for a long time now to be leaving the club. If the potential move goes through and people are saying it's going to be Liverpool, I still don't think it's a likely outcome that we'll have him in our teams from game week one. One to avoid for me for now. Then we have Bamford. If you were playing FPL a few years ago, you'll know the nostalgia that comes with Leeds and Bamford in particular. He was a fantastic pick that season and absolutely nailed a start. That's no longer the case now, so don't let nostalgia fool you. Avoid. Next one's a really easy one. Muniz doesn't look to be starting for Fulham. Avoid. Next, in the risky tier, we have Visser. So we don't know if he's 100% fit. We don't know if he's starting. We don't know if he's going to be at the club come game week one. There's obviously rumours of him leaving. He could be an okay pick, but Brentford have been gutted over the summer, so be aware. Even if he does stay, I would want to monitor that before I move to him. Next, we have Thiago, also at Brentford. I don't really see Thiago being the player many managers are saying he will be. Quite a few have actually opted for him already before game week one. I want to keep an eye out for him also because there's a player called Calimundo, which is very, very likely to be signing for Brentford in the coming days. Young 23-year-old striker, and if that does happen, he could be a threat to Thiago's minutes. Next, we have Delap at Chelsea. We've spoken about this before on this channel, but Delap faces a lot of threat for minutes from Joao Pedro and Jackson. So although he has played well in the preseason, he's just too risky for me to go from game week one. Next, we have Pirro at Leeds, very much the starting striker for them. Could he be a Bamford 2.0? Potentially, but Leeds also don't have that hyper-attacking Bielsa tactical formation that they had last time in the Premier League. So I'm going to monitor him, but I won't be starting him from game week one. So Welbeck was actually my first ever draft, and he stayed there for quite a while until I realised that he wasn't anywhere to be seen in pre-season. And also, Rutter seems to be a really, really big threat to his minutes. He's been playing really well in pre-season, and that does put me off Welbeck as he's not a young back. Then we have Beto. So I don't think Everton will score enough goals to justify a non-penalty taking forward. So it's a no from me. So a lot of Man U diehard fans will go for this next player, Sesko. And if that's you, fair play. You know, FPL is a game at the end of the day, and if you want to play it that way, then go for it. I personally wouldn't recommend Sesko though if you're looking for a nailed starter in a team with good opening fixtures. Final player in this tier is Fulkrug at West Ham. For me, still very much a big unknown. We didn't really get to see too much from him last season, so although quite a few elite managers have gone for him, or at least put him in their drafts, I'm not that excited about him. I will keep an eye out, but I will definitely not be recommending him for a game week one pick. Next, we have the decent tier, starting with Raul Jimenez. Nobody's really talking about Raul, and I don't really understand why. He's nailed, he's on pens, doesn't face rotation due to Europe. Maybe it's just me, but I think it could be a really great pick. The one downside is that he's 34, so he could potentially face some rotation. Joao Pedro. So for the same reason as Delap and Jackson, I won't be going there. He'll only likely get 60 minutes if he starts, and that's if he starts. He might not even start some games. I'm keeping an eye on him, but definitely not a game week one pick for me. I put him slightly above Delap because I do think he'll get more minutes than him, but still not enough to convince me he's a good pick. Thomas Frank confirmed yesterday Solanke is available for the PSG game. This does mean Solanke is a decent pick, but I'd want to monitor his injury and his minutes against PSG first. Still unlikely to be a serious contender for game week one. Next pick could be really exciting. It's Gyökeres at Arsenal. If you're willing to take the gamble, then go for it. I think he'll do great things in the Premier League, but I do think it might take some time to get there, and I'm not sure whether he's starting in that 11 for Arsenal from game week one. So I'm keeping an eye out, but I won't be recommending it for game week one. The same could be said for Ekitike. Let's wait and see, but I'm not sure if I'd want to gamble on him from game week one. But if you're a Liverpool fan or you really have a sense that Ekitike could kick off right from early doors, then I don't mind it as a shout. Next up, my favourite player from last season, Chris Wood. Unfortunately, he's not scored a single goal in pre-season. Forest are keeping clean sheets but just not scoring. His appeal is definitely not the same. I'd keep an eye out for him, but there are more informed players you can go with. Now on to the good tier, starting with Strand Larsen. He looks to be nailed, on pens, and save any surprises, he could be a great enabler at 6.5 million. So he's likely going to be in my team for game week one. The one downside is the absolutely terrible opening fixture against City, but if you can ride that one out, he could be a great long-term pick. Next, we have Mateta at Crystal Palace. So Mateta's been amazing in pre-season, played really well in the Community Shield, and even took a pen off Eze, who was on the pitch. So this either means that all of the pens will now be Mateta's, or they'll be sharing them. Either way, it's great news for owners. So it might be surprising to include a player from this price bracket in such a high tier, but as I said earlier, this is all about price relative to value. So as a 4.5 million bench player, I think Guyu is pretty much as good as it gets. Other players have been looking at other 4.5 million forwards who kind of just sit last on your bench. To be honest, this doesn't make a huge amount of difference. You're never really going to rely on him coming on, but there is a very small upside with Guyu, which is he could potentially be nailed and scoring goals for Sunderland. Bowen appears to be a moderately popular pick with some FPL managers going into the season. I don't know why, I just don't really see it. He's less appealing this season than he was last season because he's been moved from midfield to forward, which means he gets one less point for every goal he scores and he gets no points for clean sheets. So he's a decent pick, and I understand why managers are going for him, but for me, he just doesn't make my team. And final player from this tier, we have Evan Nilsson. I really, really like this pick. His opening fixture does put me off, but I'm probably going to have him in my team at some point this season, just not from Game Week 1. He could also be on pens whilst Cliver is out, so that's another additional factor. Now we're on the final tier, Elite, starting with Haaland. What can we say about Haaland that hasn't been said? What an amazing player, and of course we'd all be going there if we could afford him. But most of us are looking at drafts that either have Salah or Haaland. Some of us have managed to squeeze both of them in at the cost of the rest of the team. He is low owned, so he's a differential, which does make him even more appealing. I do love this pick if you're willing to bet against Salah or somehow fit them both in a team. Final player in this category, we have Watkins. He's been on fire in this preseason with 5 goals and 1 assist. He looks full of confidence. He's nailed, he's on pens, he's got fantastic fixtures from Game Week 1. He's a lock in my team. Well, that's it for this video. Tomorrow I'll be posting a new video on pre-season form and final thoughts before the season kicks off. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.